Live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, from grooming tips to the reasons why cheap chew toys might cost you more, our financial expert shares easy ways to save money on your furry friends. Plus, from humble beginnings in a factory basement to 75 years of community service, find out how Essentra Credit Union is celebrating this milestone anniversary and giving back in a big way. And it is almost time for a big birthday bash celebrating the Kindness Market. We'll get details on the local vendors taking part this weekend. Hello and welcome to Quad Cities Live on this Thursday, June 12th. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Morgan Otier. This summer, the Figge Art Museum is inviting visitors to step into a vivid and emotionally charged world with an upcoming exhibition, Fever Dreams, German Expressionism. Joining us today with a preview of all of that is Vanessa Sage, Associate Curator at the Figge Art Museum. Vanessa, welcome back.
Hello.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Well, talk to us a little bit about German Expressionism, essentially just an overview of what it is and kind of this movement in general, why it was really so groundbreaking in the art world.
Well, German Expressionism developed in Germany as well as Austria in the early part of the 20th century, and it was a group of artists who wanted to break away from tradition, but they were also concerned with social justice and social movements. They felt that the traditional realism that was accepted in the art world at the time didn't really capture the emotions that they were feeling and their responses to the world around them.
Right.
And so they started creating more expressive mark making in their work, bold colors, and very emotionally charged artworks.
Yeah, and really a time, from what I was reading, you guys do a really great job just on the website of the Figge Art Museum of kind of explaining for people before they head out to the exhibition, you know, where this was in history. Mm-hmm. And it was a time, it was tumultuous, it was a lot of upheaval, there was war, and so this was kind of a way for artists to kind of speak out about that in their own way.
And also come to terms with what was going on around them and what they were feeling. A lot of these people were, they were experiencing difficulties every day, economic uncertainty as well as war, conflict, political tension. Mm-hmm. So it's all very much a response to what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so when visitors show up, what will they be experiencing as soon as they step into this gallery?
This gallery will feature 19 prints by artists active during the early 20th century, from a little bit after the turn of the century through World War II.
Okay.
And it is a range of mediums, so we have lithographs as well as woodcuts by different artists who were very important to the movement and who continue to have an impact on art today.
Wonderful, and we're seeing some of those images on the screen right now for people who are curious as Vanessa talks about it. So the Figge also partnering with the German American Heritage Center for this. Talk a little bit about how this collaboration came to be, what each institution will be contributing.
So we have organized these exhibitions. The German American Heritage Center and Museum will have a simultaneous exhibition of German Expressionist prints from the same collectors, who are David and Sorogene Johnson. They are professors, they're artists themselves, printmakers, and they collected in this arena because of its importance to the printmaking medium. So it was a teaching tool for them when they were professors at Ball State, but it was also their passion to look at their predecessors in the printmaking world.
Yeah, wow. So, and as we already talked about, a lot of these works were created during a very turbulent time in history, in European history especially. So why do you feel, or in what ways do you feel, much of this is still timely and relevant? I feel like themes are constantly top of mind and still pertinent even hundreds of years later.
I think there's a lot of similarities between what was happening then and what's happening now in the world in terms of uncertainty, political tension, things that are happening more broadly, but also in the United States specifically. And so that's a connective thread, just thinking about how we're responding to them as humans and the human condition. And when you see these artworks, they are very emotionally charged, and you connect and empathize with the artist and the time that they were living in, but then you also connect them to how you are feeling in your own life and your own relationships, people around you.
Yeah, it's definitely a lens to kind of look at these pieces through. So we always like to ask, I mean, especially curators, do you have a favorite piece or pieces that will be part of this exhibition? And if so, kind of tell us what to look out for.
I have a couple favorite pieces. One is actually by an artist named Kat Kollwitz, who's a brilliant at drawing and a renowned printmaker. And it is very emotionally heightened. And then we also have, it's a powerful image of death, a woman, and a child.
Okay.
And then we also have a work by Leah Grundig, which is a series that she made called Under the Swastika, and it was just her experiences during that time period and responding to the political environment around her as well as the social environment.
Okay, I believe we have that one on the screen right now.
Yes, so that one's called Whispering and Eavesdropping.
Okay.
So it's really about that kind of suspicion and fear of possibly being informed on is during that time period in Germany under the dictatorship. And you can really, the thing about German Expressionism is it's not necessarily realistic, but it gives you this emotional connection, and you get what she's trying to get across, which is that environment of fear and suspicion among people.
Absolutely. And with any exhibition, oftentimes you have either speakers or programs or things like that. Is there anything like that to look forward to when this exhibition opens?
We have several programs planned. So on July 24th, we will have a program with the Collectors and Joseph Lappy, who was a former student and is also a printmaker. He's at St. Ambrose University, where he teaches printmaking. So they will have a discussion on July 24th. On August 9th and 10th, we kind of have a weekend of German Expressionism. The German American Heritage Center and Museum will be having a program on Sunday. We'll be having our second Saturday program on August 9th. And we'll also have a print giveaway during that weekend for the first certain number of visitors. Joseph Lappy's going to create a print for us.
Wow, amazing. Lots to look forward to this summer, and something new indeed. So Fever Dreams German Expressionism will be on view in the Lewis Gallery from June 21st, so it's coming up, through December 7th. And if you want to learn more about that and the many other exhibitions you can find at the Figge, just give them a visit, FiggeArtMuseum.org. Vanessa, as always, thank you just for all the knowledge and the insight. We appreciate it. Thank you. Coming up on Quad Cities Live, a birthday bash where you can find dozens of local vendors, free giveaways, even adoptable dogs, all in support of a great cause. More on this weekend's Kindness Market next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Get ready to celebrate community, creativity, and compassion, because the Kindness Market is throwing a big birthday bash this Sunday, June 15th at Great River Brewery in Davenport. It runs from noon to 5 p.m. This festive pop-up will bring together dozens of local vendors and even some adoptable dogs. Joining us today is Courtney Walter, the founder of the Kindness Market. Courtney, welcome back to the show.
Yes, thanks for having me as always.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just start with the Kindness Market itself before we kind of get into all the fun that's happening this weekend. Talk a little bit about when you started it, why you started it, and what it is.
Yeah, so I started it a couple years ago. I have my business Needed Kindness. It's a local in-home bakery here in the Quad Cities. So I really my sales are based on vendor events throughout the area and private orders. So I really wanted a market to just bring everybody together, all of the vendors, so there was one spot, for everybody to shop. And I handpick all of my vendors just so that there's a good selection, not duplicates of everything, so you're really getting a good variety of them.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I know you were telling me before we got started today, there's still vendors that are reaching out to you about this weekend. So it is a big birthday bash.
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about what makes this edition of the market so special to you.
Yeah, so I like to theme all of my markets benefits each year just to give it a little extra fun. So this year on the 15th is actually my 25th birthday. So I decided to theme it around that. Not only is it Father's Day, but it's also my birthday. So themed it all around that. And then Rescued is going to be benefiting from proceeds from the event. So I donate a portion of the raffle proceeds and then also vendor fees that I collect. And I've worked with Rescued for over 8 years. So it's really just a good nonprofit that I wanted to benefit.
Yeah, that's great. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Before we get too far. So let's talk a little bit about the vendors. You were telling me more than 25 of them are going to be coming out to Great River Brewery. So what kind of shopping can we expect?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of everything. We've got youth vendors, so some t-shirt vendors they started making.
Oh my gosh, those are youth created?
Yep, youth created, and then also 3D Prints is a youth vendor. There's going to be some artwork and bracelets by youth vendors.
Oh, wow.
And then we've got some freeze-dried candy, some home items, bath and body products, of course, and then baked goods. But really, there's more than that. There's so many different vendors, something for everybody. I've got a hot sauce vendor, stuff for everybody, really.
Yeah, that's great, especially on Father's Day. Like it's a little something to do with Dad. That's maybe a little bit different. And then this is all needed kindness stuff. So
that's all my stuff.
It looks delicious. So while I have it in front of me and while I have you here, talk a little bit about what you brought.
Yeah, so what I brought today, I brought gourmet chow, which is always a popular choice. Yeah, it's puppy chow, and then lemon cake cookies, so they're just a really soft cookie, lemon flavored. And then the Dubai cookie right next to that. So if you've heard of the viral Dubai trend, so it's mixed with the kataffi and pistachio crunchy filling on the inside, and then it's my traditional brown butter cookie on the outside. And then the cookie next to that is also my traditional brown butter cookie. So that's my signature item, and then I just stuffed the Dubai filling inside of that just to give it a little extra crunch and something unique.
That is huge.
Yes.
So it's in my hand in case anybody is wondering. Amazing. So yeah, there's going to be quite a variety of things for people to check out and purchase. Now, you briefly touched on the youth vendors. So this is something that you always incorporate ever since I met you. So why do you feel like it's so important to have youth participate?
I just love seeing like all the young entrepreneurs starting early. Getting out of your comfort zone is a big thing of mine. So always like to see just them start young. So yeah, I've always liked to showcase at least a couple of them, even if they're set up with another vendor like their parents or something. It gets them out there, gets their name out.
Yeah, it's truly special. They get to be a part of this, and I think a lot of times people will be surprised at what they are able to create.
Definitely.
You wouldn't know half the time that a kid is making these products and selling them. It's really impressive. There's a lot of interactive fun as well.
Always.
So tell us about Vendors Bingo.
Yeah, so I started that just to get everybody in the door. It's a free interactive thing, so everybody who enters will get this little vendor bingo sheet. It has all the vendors' names on it. You don't have to purchase anything from all of them. You just walk around and they'll stamp it. And then at the end, before you leave, you'll turn it in, and then you get entered in to win a door prize with that.
That's awesome.
So completely free. It just gets the vendors to interact with everybody. Just tell them a little bit about your business and everything like that.
Yeah, it's mutual. It works both ways. Okay, there will also be some giveaways and grab bags.
Yes.
Talk about
so these are going to be the grab bags. They're going to be filled with all kinds of stuff. So a reusable tote bag. Yeah. So they'll have different stuff from vendors, different coupons, little mini like sample items. But the first 10 adults are going to get those. So we'll have a line waiting out the door at Great River Brewery to get in at 12 o'clock. So the first 10 will get those. And then the books over there, I reached out to a local vendor, and they're actually all for the kids.
Oh my gosh.
So instead of the blind date with a book that you normally see, she names them play date with a book. So the first 10 kids are going to get those. I just always like to include, the kids in all of that too.
This is so great. Playdate with a book, Healing Friendship, and it's a chapter book, right? It's important that we know that for the kiddos.
Yes, there's all different books. So I've got some like smaller board books and stuff too for like toddlers, but all different kinds for the kids.
That's wonderful. And of course, we told everybody this at the beginning of the segment. There will be adoptable dogs there. So Canine Kindness Rescue is a part of this.
Yep. So I work with them frequently. They're all foster based. So sometimes it's hard to get dogs adopted when you can't just go to the shelter and look at them. So we're going to have a couple different dogs there just throughout the day. They'll have little different spots, but there's an upstairs room that they'll be at, so you can come in and play with them and maybe take one home.
Okay, wonderful. I just love that you've incorporated that. Obviously something that you care about greatly. And then finally, tons of raffle baskets.
Yes.
I think more than 30.
Yes, over 30. So all the vendors participate and they bring raffle baskets, as well as I bring some extra, and then 50% of the proceeds from that goes right back to Rescued. So you're really just benefiting everybody in our community and all the animals.
Yeah, I mean, everybody leaves with a big smile on their face.
Definitely.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
The Kindness Market, as it is so aptly named, Big Birthday Bash is this Sunday, June 15th at Great River Brewery in downtown Davenport from noon to 5. It is free to attend with more than 25 local vendors and those adoptable dogs. Courtney, wonderful job, and thank you so much, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend. Yes, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Still to come on QCL, free food, prizes, and a chance to be part of something bigger. Essentra Credit Union is marking 75 years with community celebrations across the area. How you can join the fun, next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
This year marks a major milestone for Essentra Credit Union's 75 years of service, growth, and community impact. What began in the basement of the Alcoa plant in Riverdale has grown into a trusted financial institution serving over 42,000 members across eastern Iowa and western Illinois. Joining me now from Essentra Credit Union is President and CEO Linda Andre. Linda, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, oh my goodness, congrats on 75 years, first of all.
Thank you.
That is a wonderful milestone that we're excited to talk with you about today. So take us back in time. I mean, I know you personally won't have a memory of 75 years ago, but take us back in time to when everything got started and why everything got started.
Sure. So as you mentioned, we started in the basement of Alcoa Davenport Works in Riverdale, Iowa. And it was a group of individuals who were trying to help each other and help each other meet financial needs that they weren't getting in the communities where they lived and worked. So a group of 10 people came together, got this idea to start a credit union. At that time, credit unions were 25 years old in the state of Iowa.
Wow.
And they worked through the process and filed for the charter. And on June 22nd, 1950, Alcoa Employees Credit Union was born.
That is, what a story. Really, truly a story about, people first, a people first approach, which is kind of what you guys are about today.
Yes.
So that brings us to present day. Talk about how Essentra has truly grown. I mean, I know we mentioned the member count,
Correct.
but now, I mean, all the services that you offer, all of it, it's all available to your members.
Yes. So if you talk about 1950,
Yeah.
it was really just savings and loans.
Yes.
And working together to get those services in the hands of people who needed it. And today, we're a full service financial institution. We have all the services that anyone would want to have from a financial services perspective, serving, as you said, 42,000 members.
Amazing, yeah.
Within Iowa and Illinois, 21 counties. And it's just a great organization to be a part of.
Yes, continuing to grow with every year from what it seems like. So many people may not actually know the difference between a credit union and a bank. I think a lot of people lump them in the same category. So
Sure.
can you talk a little bit about those differences for us?
For sure. So it's really about ownership structure.
Okay.
So within a credit union, if you are a member of a credit union, you are also an owner of the credit union. So all of those 42,000 members are owners of Essentra Credit Union. Whereas with a bank, they have a small number of shareholders. And those shareholders are the owners.
Okay.
So with a credit union, we're returning our profits back to our membership through lower interest rates on loans, lower fees on products and services, higher rates on deposit accounts, where in the banking side of things, they're returning those profits back to that small group of shareholders.
Okay, well, it still kind of harkens back to that very first approach when
Yes.
everything was founded and making it for the members and for the people.
Yes.
So there is a four-legged approach or a four-pillar approach that kind of guides how you serve your customers. So can you go through what those pillars are for
Certainly.
us?
Our four pillars are always members first, because they are our member owners, and what we do every day is for them. Our staff, of course, is part of that too. We want to make sure our staff are well treated. They have the skills needed to serve our membership. And then our community, of course, we are very focused on improving our community and the lives of those who live in our community, and then of course the financial stability of the credit union, because we can't do any of those things unless we are a safe and sound, trusted financial institution.
Yeah, absolutely. And that just kind of guides what they do at Essentra every single day. Now, you just mentioned this community.
Yes.
So Essentra is known for giving back.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about some of the ways that you've done that at the organization?
Certainly. We are very focused on volunteering and encouraging our staff to volunteer. Last year, we recorded over 1,900 hours of volunteer hours, just our staff doing that. This year, we've set a goal of 2,750. We are only through, 5.5 months, and we're already over 1,800 hours
That's
of
great.
volunteer efforts. So when you go back into the community and you're serving and you're serving others, you're just lifting the lives of so many as you're giving your time, talent, and treasure to those around us.
Yeah, it's an amazing approach that you guys have at Essentra. And to celebrate your 75 years, you're actually hosting some fun events, some anniversary events at several branch locations. So tell us about that and what people can expect.
Yes, so we've got a few of them under our belt already,
Yeah.
but you can expect some yummy hamburgers and
Ooh.
chicken and
real
cookies,
party.
really good cookies.
Yeah.
Hy-Vee has been our supporter with that and our partner in having our lunches at our branch locations. We also have some prizes to give away
That's fun.
at the locations, and then of course we'd love to talk to you about who Essentra is and what we can do to help.
Yes, absolutely, and that kind of includes, being part of the difference,
Yes.
as you all put it. So this is a really good opportunity for folks, not just non-members, but also members who may not be utilizing that membership to the fullest potential.
Correct. Yes, we want to encourage our existing members to, utilize all of our products and services, as well as non-members to come and join us as well. We appreciate our members who have been with us for many, many, many years, and we want to thank them for, just being with us and being a member of Essentra. But we also want to invite others to come and join the difference as well, because what we can do collectively as an organization is far better than what anyone can do as an individual.
Yeah, absolutely. A great way to put it. And if you want to learn more about the upcoming anniversary events that Linda's talking about, or find out how to become a member of Essentra Credit Union, you can visit them on the web at essentra.org. Very easy right there at the bottom of your screen. Linda, thank you so much, and congratulations to you and your entire team on 75 years.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Still to come in our second half hour of QCL, our financial moment with Heidi. If you love your pet but not the price tag, we've got smart ways to cut down on costs without cutting corners on their health and happiness. Plus, no needles, no appointments, just a serum that works in minutes. We'll show you how Plexiderm is helping people turn back the clock right from their homes.
And a lot of clouds and more humidity today, so our feels like temperature is actually above the air temperature. And we've got a peek at the weekend after some more rain chances coming our way to close out the work week. Details ahead in your First Alert forecast.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Eric Maitland.
A lot of clouds around today, but we're still warm. We've got temperatures in the low to mid 80s and more humidity. You've probably noticed that. Despite the fact that we don't have a lot of sunshine, our actual feels like temperature is above the air temperature. These clouds coming from a disturbance in Missouri, which will eventually cross through the QCA, especially later tonight and early tomorrow, and that's going to bring some more widespread showers. And if we can get some clearing, we anticipated a little bit of that today. We really haven't had much of it. It's all off to our west. If we can get some clearing tomorrow, then we might pop up a stray afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Hey, just want to update you on the drought conditions. We will be needing the rain because look what's happening. The only little area here of no drought is the bullseye around and just west of the Metro Quad Cities. Unfortunately, though, the drier conditions are starting to close in on the central QCA with a moderate drought actually toward northwest Illinois and northeast Iowa, catching some of that up in northern Jackson County. So yeah, any rain would be welcome, and it is starting to form off to our south. It's going to be moving our way as we go through the night. Here's a look at our temperatures right now. 83 in Moline and Kewanee, 84 in Clinton, that 90 in Maquoketa. Might be a little high unless you've gotten a little sun. It's only 82 in Dubuque and 84 in Muscatine, but look at these dew points well into the 60s now across the area, and even more moisture coming in from the south. Those dew points around 70 degrees, and that means our feels like temperatures actually a little bit above the actual air temperatures. So we're feeling like 84 here in the Quad Cities, 86 though in Davenport. And as we go through the rest of the afternoon into the evening, again, if we can get a break in the clouds, there might be enough instability for an isolated shower or possibly a thunderstorm. But really, once we get towards sunset, that possibility pretty much ends. And then we'll wait for tomorrow morning. Latest adjustment here on ExactTrack actually has a lot of that rain moving to the east, but that's not the case with all the models. So especially south and east of the Metro Quad Cities tomorrow morning, there will be that chance for some showers early in the day. And then in the afternoon, as we start the process of getting back a little sunlight, there you see the instability. We pop up a few stray showers, possibly a thunder shower here or there. Looks like we'll be dry for the weekend. As we go through tonight, though, mid 60s for lows. You've been noticing those milder overnights, and here we go. And then high temperatures tomorrow back to the low to mid 80s. And again, that cloud cover will keep us a little bit cooler. Into the weekend we go, and with all the rain off to our east early Saturday, we've dried things out, keeping things sunny Saturday afternoon. And for Father's Day, we'll have a few clouds moving on through right now. Too tough to tell if we're going to get any rain. Still some disagreement in the models, but at this point we're keeping things dry. Here's a look at our temperatures as we go into the evening hours. We'll be dropping back to the 70s later this evening, 60s overnight, and you see we'll keep those 80s for highs tomorrow and through the weekend. Warmer next week, but also more active with more storms on the way Monday through Wednesday.
And it's definitely starting to feel like summer out there. Thanks, Eric. We love our furry friends, but let's face it, pet ownership can get pricey. From food and grooming to vet visits and toys, those cute companions can make a serious dent in your wallet. Fortunately, there are smart ways to cut costs without cutting corners on care. Joining us today is financial contributor Heidi Hueskamp Collins with some practical tips on how to keep your pets happy and healthy without breaking the bank. Heidi, welcome back.
Good to be here.
Thank you for being here. This is just another great topic, I think. So pet ownership, it's incredibly rewarding, but it can also be expensive. So what kind of inspired you to put together some tips for everybody today?
Well, the last several times that I've been on the show, I've been using different topics and talking about how to save money on everything from shopping to clothes to, groceries and travel, so I thought pets were a great, a great topic too.
Well, and I don't think that I'm alone when, because I'm a pet parent. I have a dog, Winifred, at home, and when like her food gets low and you're like, oh man, I got to add that to the grocery list, for example, and it's like, $30 or some more than that for a giant bag of food. So it's like, you love your pet, and then you also go, well, yeah, they also cost money to take care of as well. So one of the first things that you suggest is checking online for coupons.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you start checking, you will find them.
Yeah.
You can Google, Petco, coupons, or, your grocery store where you shop, or Target or Walmart. And you'll be surprised, there are a lot of coupons out there for, food, for toys, for, all kinds of things.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that too is I think we get kind of stuck in a rut of where we shop, where we grocery shop. So unless you go to a specific place to get your pet food, that is wise, because you don't have to get your pet food at that same place that you do all your groceries. You can shop around, so to speak, wherever the coupon is for that week and get that for your pet. So one of the other suggestions is considering pet insurance. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, not all pet insurance is created equal. So you have to do your research. Check with your vet. A lot of times at a vet clinic, there will be, little tear-offs that you can, that you can fill out and get information, or you can look online. But a lot of vet insurance or pet insurance pays for, expensive vet stays, overnight, or surgeries. But a lot of them pay for shots and wellness visits too.
Really?
And those really add up.
Oh, they absolutely do. They absolutely do. Every time we go in there, I'm like, oh boy, I can't believe, and we talk about it all the time here, friends on the show, we all have pets. So that is a big one. I don't currently have the pet insurance, and I've heard nothing but good things and how wise it is to have that.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So take note, Morgan. You also recommend making sure that your pet is getting plenty of exercise. So how is that going to save us money?
A healthy pet is going to save you money.
You don't need that insurance. Yeah.
Well, you know, if you're keeping, you know, your dog at or most often a dog at a healthy weight, you know, by walking, you know, he or she, you know, you're not going to get those later in life, especially expensive vet bills.
Yeah, just making sure that they exercise. It's kind of like how we take care of ourselves.
Exactly. It's good for us too because we're out walking and so, you know, lower doctor bills.
Exactly. So, and grooming bills. Okay, these can add up very quickly, especially if you have a dog that needs to be groomed often, like I do. She has that curly, fuzzy fur. So what can we do there with that one?
You know, I know it sounds overwhelming if you've never done it, but pet grooming is something you can do at home.
Yeah.
And you would be surprised if you go on YouTube, there are thousands of videos of pet owners showing you very basic steps of how to do pet grooming at home.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I've done it myself,
Yes.
if you can believe it.
I've done it in a pinch, like literally when she gets into something and then I have to like bathe her. But as far as like clipping nails and all of that stuff, that can all be taught. And that could
absolutely
save you quite a bit of money.
It can.
Okay, well that is good to know. And one of the more surprising tips that I read is to avoid cheap chew toys. I love this one. I'm excited to hear you talk about it. I'm the cheap chew toy queen. So why is this important?
Well, you know, we all kind of get in the rut. We'll go to the grocery store. We love our pets so much, and we'll go to the grocery store and we'll, you know, grab something. But, you know, how often does it happen to you, Morgan? I mean, it's happened to me, so I need to take note as well. You buy him something, and it's cheap, you know, it's not like a rubber, you know, something, but it's like a cheap
like a stuffy
plastic thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, and they get chewed up in 2 days.
2 hours. If anyone that's watching has met my dog Winnie, you know. She does not, if it's cotton or like if it's a stuffed animal type of thing, we have an hour. We have an hour. So we don't even go for those toys at all anymore. It has to be like hard as rock plastic. But yeah, you know, you're right. And I used to be like that when I had a previous dog that didn't chew things to bits. I always wanted to get the cute chew toys all the time. And then those are out the window and you're buying a new one the next couple weeks.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
Don't waste your money.
It makes perfect sense. Okay, so really good tips that will make sure that we get up on the website for folks just on saving money when it comes to your pets. Oftentimes we just do the easiest thing and you know, we forget about maybe doing something that will save us some money. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the variety of services that Heidi offers, just visit her website. It is right there on your screen, hhcinvestments.net. And a reminder, we want you to watch all of our segments together. Heidi definitely provides us with various topics. A lot of them are really fun or really insightful. So you can do that by visiting our website, kwqc.com, and clicking the tab for Quad Cities Live. Heidi, again, thank you so much. This was fun.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Appreciate it.
Just ahead on QCL, want to shrink under eye bags? Yes, and smooth wrinkles in just 10 minutes. We are putting Plexiderm to the test, and the before and after results are jaw-dropping. Take a look after the break.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
We are seeing a lot about Plexiderm, either on social media or on TV. They promise to help shrink your under eye bags and hide your wrinkles from view. Well, if you haven't tried it, get ready to be amazed. Today, we are joined by lifestyle consultant Annette Figueroa. Annette, thanks for being here today.
Of course, thank you for having me. And I'm always so happy to talk about Plexiderm. I use it. My dad uses it. This product is amazing.
Yeah, it's always good when you really believe in the product. It's so much easier to share that way. And I want to start, Annette, with some of the most incredible before and afters. We're going to put them up on the screen. Describe what we're seeing here.
Yeah, so you're looking at real people with real problems. And this is the dramatic results that you can expect to see when you use Plexiderm. Not only does it make you look more refreshed, but what I love about it, it's a confidence booster because when you look good, you feel good. You're also looking at Samantha, and She's beautiful, but she has struggled with the under eye puffiness and the little bit of dark circles at a very young age, which can really make you look tired. And look at the dramatic results here. You look refreshed, more youthful, and like you had the best sleep of your life. And to be honest, that's exactly what I use it for, because I don't remember the last time I had an 8 hours night of sleep.
Yeah, truly. And those before and after images are amazing. Like the work that this does is incredible. You wouldn't think that this takes just 10 minutes. Okay, so you hear Plexaderm. If you've never heard of it before, you might think I have to go to a doctor to try this out. This is actually just a topical serum.
Yeah, so it's a simple serum you do in the convenience and privacy of your own home. Just like you said, you're going to apply it to a clean, dry face, and you're going to wait the full 10 minutes. And I always say, take some me time. If you haven't used it before, though, watch this happen or take a before and after picture, because you're going to be speechless. It really does turn back the clock. And what it does is it creates an invisible layer that tightens and smooths the skin right before your eyes. They use silicates found in shale clay. I have very sensitive skin. It has never bothered me once. And I call it literally my Rise, Plexaderm, and Shine, because that's what you do once you use it.
Yeah, incredible. And I know you were talking a little bit about the time-lapse video. We just played it again, and it really does show within 10 minutes how big of a difference it makes with just a topical serum. Can you tell us about any studies that may have been done on Plexaderm? I know there have been a couple of recent studies.
Absolutely. So 2 studies in February 2019, one on the effectiveness, the other one how long it lasted. We saw an 80% reduction around the eye area. That is the top reason why people use Plexaderm. A 74% reduction around the mouth area and an 85% reduction around the forehead area. That's actually where I use it. And I had done an internet search. How to get rid of the forehead lines? It said pretty much by injection only. Well, I think you need to give Plexaderm a try first. And how long it lasts? Up to 10 hours, as long as you don't get it wet. So stay out of the rain, don't jump in the pool, and you're good to go.
Okay, that's wonderful. And it works on the wrinkles too. So I think that's a question that everyone has. Obviously, we all want to take care of our under eye bags and our dark circles, but the fact that it also can work on wrinkles, and 10 hours is a really long time. I mean, that's longer than a work day for most of us.
Yeah, so it is up to 10 hours, but let me tell you, when I use Plexaderm, it works for me most of the day.
Wow.
And another thing that I love to tell people is it works incredible with water-based cosmetics. Make sure it's water-based, but also less makeup because you have less to cover up, which is my favorite part.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, because you want everyone with under eye bags and wrinkles to give this a try, you actually have a really great trial offer for the people that are watching us today.
Yes, we have an incredible offer. We have a 6-day, 6-application trial pack for $14.95. Free shipping, 30-day money-back guarantee. All you have to do is call 1-800-694-7019. This is for men, women, anybody that wants to look more youthful, feel like themselves, step out with confidence. Plexaderm will do just that.
Awesome. Okay, well, we just put the QR code up on the screen so that folks could utilize that. And of course, giving our viewers a chance to take the Plexaderm 10-minute challenge, as we talked about. Well, today, just as Annette was talking about, you can try it. Again, $14.95 with free shipping. All you have to do is visit plexadermtrial.com or call the number on your screen. It's the number that Annette was just talking about. So again, that's plexadermtrial.com, and there's the phone number for you, 1-800-694-7019. Again, 10 minutes a day. You put it on, you go make yourself a cup of coffee, and Annette, it sounds like we're just ready to get on with our day at that point.
Yes, absolutely, and with confidence.
All right. Well, Annette, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us all about it.
Thank you so much for having me, Morgan.
Of course. Just ahead on the show, our Throwback Thursday segment. Join Eric Maitland and me as we walk down memory lane next on QCL. Yep. It is Throwback Thursday, where we like to take back a number of years. It could be last week. It could be 30 years ago.
It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm glad that the rules are very fluid.
The rules, we make them up as we go along.
Pretty much.
Every single. So when is yours from today?
I'm thinking 2005.
Okay.
Well, one of my favorite pictures from 2005. These are the pictures of my daughter, Sierra. She just turned 26 this week. Well, where did that all go?
That's crazy.
But I just, I put a bunch of pictures to celebrate her birthday on my Facebook, and this next one is my favorite shot of all time. It's up in Door County at Cave Point. Dad and daughter just walking hand in hand.
That is so sweet.
We did stop before we hit the water, by the way. So
yeah, well, good. We're happy about that.
Sometimes
so
Dad would have
cute.
let her just keep going, But
yeah.
But
well,
she's
and
my
the way
little
like
cutie.
phones are now too.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like obviously this you have these photos that you were able to I don't know, take a photo of or scan.
Yeah, they were
but,
actual
like,
photos. Yes.
Yeah, like and mine will be too, which I'll show in a second. But now like with Darby, they're all in your phone.
Yeah.
And that makes it like so easy to go walk down memory lane. Sometimes I get stuck.
Well, and I think of the number of pictures I have of my cat now. Man, if I had a cell phone when my kids were young, I would not have enough memory. Google wouldn't have enough memory for me.
No, I think I have easily more than like 15,000 photos on my phone right now, and that is not a joke. I'll have to check and I'll get back to you.
I'd love to know.
So my throwback is also about that same time.
Okay.
With everybody graduating recently,
Wow.
I threw it back to high school. I couldn't find a graduation photo of me. Yes, I have braces. I have braces.
Look who hasn't changed a bit, everybody.
Yeah, right. I was wearing braces in that first one. That was sophomore year cheerleading, and that was junior year cheerleading. The braces are off. But I thought this was funny because we were the Vikings, and our uniforms were supposed to say Vikes, and I think it looks like yikes. Doesn't it?
Well, that instilled fear in the other teams, I'm sure.
Like, I think, like the moment that I put it on, they were brand new uniforms for that first year, because before that we recycled them year after year.
Okay.
So we got brand new uniforms, and the first time I put it on, and my dad goes, "What does that say?" And he's like really Chicago accent. He goes, "What does that say, Mo? Yikes!" And from then on, I was like, I hate this uniform. It like really ruined it for me. But yeah, so that was sophomore year and junior year. But either way, I wanted to say congrats to all the people that just graduated. I know we're having lots of parties and. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Graduation season, Father's Day coming up.
I know.
Wow.
There is just a whole lot of stuff going on. So
checkbooks just ripping out,
Yes.
I know, if you still use a check.
Absolutely. All right, well, thanks for joining us for today's Throwback Thursday, and thank you for watching QCL. Your local news at 4 with Marcia is up next.